Fitzgerald.
And I'm Madeline.
What else do we say when we do these introductions? All right, well, we're the Fiends, and we're going to review the John Carpenter Presents Body Bags.
On VHS.
Yes, we watched a VHS copy.
Apparently it's a really big thing now.
Yes, it's retro or nostalgic to watch films on VHS. And I realized, yeah, the nostalgia is great, and I don't even know if this is available on DVD. And
it should be.
yes, because the image quality would be so much better. But, you know, I think I only really noticed that during the first segment, and after a while you just get used to the diminished image quality. But we did enjoy some other things about watching a film on VHS. We got the coming attraction. Was it coming attractions or coming soon? Well, that's not really important.
It doesn't matter. It was fun movie trailers.
And we saw trailers for Infested.
Yeah.
With the large killer ticks and Clint Howard saying, "I'm infested."
Yeah.
I'm infested.
He had that.
And then the other film.
RFX?
Oh no! Infested also had Seth Green.
Yes.
Yes,
baby Seth Green.
Baby Seth Green. Mm-hmm. Wow. And bright hair too. And then the guy in the character, with the abs and the snakeskin vest. And then the girl in that red top, who is apparently very cold. But what was the other trailer we saw?
It was Aria.
Oh, Apex.
Apex.
Yes.
Apex, which I want to go home and watch.
We have Apex.
You have Apex.
We have Apex. I wonder if that's available on DVD either. Well, no matter what. So we watched John Carpenter Presents Body Bags. This is an anthology film. It was originally intended to be a series for Showtime. Showtime was interested in doing their own anthology series akin to HBO's Tales from the Crypt. Later they decided it wasn't the right choice for them. There wasn't anything... I don't think there's anything wrong with the material. I think it probably just, this, they didn't want to compete, or who knows why they didn't do it. But I wouldn't say it was the material. The material was good. All-star cast for each of the segments, and there's 3 of them. So what had happened is they took the 3 episodes that they had and turn
them into
one anthology, one film. Okay. And the most part that you enjoyed most was
John Carpenter acts in it. It's not like nowadays where they say this person presents and they just put their name on it. He's actually presenting each one. He's in a morgue, and he's hilarious. Everything from making a martini out of formaldehyde to just being creepy as hell, and he does a great job. Now, it's kind of similar to, I'd say, what Funny or Die did during Halloween a few years ago, where John Carpenter was presenting all the shorts. However, he really goes above and beyond and just takes it right to the next level.
Well, I'm going to have to say, earlier last week, my wife and I just finished watching on Netflix the documentary American Scary, which is about the horror host tradition. And I gotta say, John Carpenter, he is a horror host.
Yes.
I mean, maybe originally the intent was to emulate the Crypt Keeper, who actually was kind of surprising when I'm thinking of it. The Crypt Keeper on Tales from the Crypt, the anthology series on HBO, he would qualify as a horror host.
Yeah.
But he was overlooked on American Scary. But John Carpenter, he definitely, you could tell he loved doing this.
He had fun with it.
He seemed to, yeah, he definitely was. I'm surprised. I would love to see him. You know, he could do this if he decides. I want to say to give up filmmaking, but I think he already has. I mean, his last film was The Ward, which is also available on Netflix, and I haven't got around to seeing that.
Is that the one with the Robert Englund and Ken Hodder? Or
No.
am I thinking of another film?
No, you must. I believe you're thinking of another film.
Okay.
But you know, if John Carpenter doesn't want to direct, John Carpenter wants a horror host. I think he'd be excellent. But hey, get back to directing because he's made some incredible films over the years. But he did a really good job as a horror host. So we've got 3 short films. The first was that was.
He said titles?
The Guest. Yeah, they had titles.
Oh.
Well, he didn't announce the titles, but they were listed in the credits with titles.
Okay.
And the first is simply The Gas Station. Well, why don't you tell...
The gas station, the premise is basically there's a killer on the loose and there is a student who is working at a gas station and she's all alone and she's visited by a handful of different characters. A few of them you think, well, definitely that's the killer, and then you think, wait, it's too obvious, maybe that guy's the killer, and it turns out to be... Is this movie so old that we can just give spoilers away?
Yeah.
I mean, it turns out to be the person that relieved her. Who also worked there.
There's no suspense or there's no mystery that builds up to it anyways. It's not really a whodunit. So to find out that, yes, her coworker that she relieves returns to kill her.
And the first, what got me was Wes Craven. Accident. Wes Craven is creepy as hell. He really is. I mean, he's like got his hair like in his face, and he's like, "You're pretty. You should come back to my car, and we should drink some bourbon." It's like, no, Wes, no, we're not going to do that.
All of the shorts are camo heavy, but this is probably the most camo heavy, and with stars from that era. Mm-hmm. Robert Carradine is the killer.
Yep.
Best known from the Revenge of the Nerds series. As you said, Wes Craven, credited as the pasty face man. Sam Raimi, who at first you think, wait a minute, he's the employee of the month. Where you see a photo of him and think, that's his camo. But you actually see his body fall out of a locker later on. So he had the easiest cameo because he didn't have to do anything but be dead.
It can be hard.
David Naughton, best known from American Werewolf in London, as our would-be hero, and you recognized him, but you didn't know who he was. The bum.
Yeah.
Was George Buck Flower, and he's got one of those faces. He's someone you recognize, but I couldn't tell you.
We're looking it up right now.
We're looking it up, and I
just so people know, we literally do these minutes after we watch the movie, so we're not researching. There's no script put together.
Well, he's been in a lot of stuff.
What would we know of?
Well, what hasn't he been in?
Escape from New York as Buckflower.
Oh, as The Fog, Escape from 2 John Carpenter films, 3 John Carpenter's films. There's Starman, Pumpkinhead, Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bolorama. They Live, another John Carpenter, obviously. Puppet Masters 2,
so
Skeeter.
He's kind of like the Ron Perlman to
Probably more like the
Guillermo
Clint
del Toro's
Howard.
Ron Perlman.
Probably more like the Clint Howard.
Okay.
Oh, so he's a very noted, very prolific actor during that time, and he's sadly,
Ilsa She-Wolf of the SS?
sadly no longer with us. I've never seen that. Have you?
It's interesting.
Okay.
It's really, really interesting.
All right.
You kind of need alcohol to get through it. But.
One thing I found interesting about the gas station was the lens that was used to focus on the main character, Anne. It was just, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it was supposed. It was definitely not a point of view.
As a director, you're going to notice things that I'm really not going to notice.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to explain what those shots were.
A lot of them were looking down on her, which could have portrayed how intimidated she was feeling by certain characters. But then when it was the guy from American Werewolf, it was more straightforward. So I think the lens was more showing how she was feeling intimidated, and she was not feeling intimidated by that guy. Yeah.
Oh, one thing that I want to note. This part is directed by John Carpenter. And John Carpenter, and I said at the time, he plagiarizes himself. In the sense that Annie temporarily disables, or has believed she's stopped Bill the killer. So we believe he's dead. She's in the foreground, to the right, in a position. Well, that's okay. She's in the foreground. She's calming down, and then it's a shallow focus shot. What that means is only part of the scene is in focus, and we only see Anne in focus in the foreground, and in the background is kind of blurred. But we see somebody moving, and then we realize Bill is not dead, still coming after her. And that is the same thing John Carpenter has done in Halloween.
Yeah, with, of course, Jamie Lee Curtis.
With Jamie Lee Curtis.
It's one of the most famous scenes from Halloween. Yeah. In fact, if Halloween is mentioned in anything, like in a top 10 or top horror films, or in the Boogeyman.
The town
is actually...
The town, this short takes place in Haddonfield.
Yeah, but if you've heard anything about Halloween or seen anything, you've seen this scene. Because I have a few things on tape or on DVD where they mention it, and that's the scene they show, is where I killed him, and he's getting up, going after poor little Jamie Lee Curtis.
So this is almost like the gas station was like almost like a short version of Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know much more to say about the gas station. Would Bill have died from having the truck slowly lowered onto him?
Probably not, but again, these are horror films. This is a 80s, I'm guessing?
91.
Early 90s horror film. You can take logic and throw it out the window.
Alright.
So, it's there for entertainment.
Okay.
It's like trying to put logic into video games.
Oh, and we enjoyed so many nostalgic things about Anne's high-waisted pants.
That were painted on.
Jeans.
These things were so tiny.
Credit card imprinters. What else? Oh, $2.75 for a pack of cigarettes.
Yes.
What else? Where's some other things?
The phone.
Number. Oh, okay. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, cameraman Jim.
Bill leaves Anne a number to contact him at in case she runs into any problem. And I comment, I know it's a thing, and I know it's to avoid your 8675309 occurring. But it, I guess it always, as I made it mention that it takes me out of it at every time in a film. There's the 555 number given. But I don't think that doesn't reflect on this. This is just my general movie pet peeve. All right, so do you want to move on to hair, or can you think of anything else about the gas station?
I think I got the most nostalgia out of the gas station. Like, I was squealing a lot.
Yeah, because of lots of cameos.
Lots of cameos, lots of references. Seeing Raimi's picture as Employee of the Month. I was Wes Craven acting. I was so impressed with John Carpenter, and then right after that, I get Wes Craven, and I was like, wow, why aren't these guys in front of the camera?
All right, so next we get Hair, featuring Stacy Keach as a gentleman who simply just insecure due to his hair loss and wants more hair. And this just seemed pretty much a comic piece. There's really nothing truly horrific till or even bordering on horror till the last 5 minutes of it.
And then when it's bordering on horror, it goes right into left field. It's like,
well, I'm gonna just tell you, he wants hair. He goes to David Warner
and Debbie Harry,
who
Blondie,
who turned out to be aliens, or not aliens. I assume they're just bodies that are filled with very small alien worms.
I'm not sure
that they're putting.
They didn't really explain it. They just kind of threw, oh, by the way, we're aliens and we're eating you.
Yeah, eating your brain.
And we're going to eat all the other vain human beings on the planet.
Man's vanity for hair gives the aliens worms an opportunity to get in and eat your brains. And who did we have? We had David Warner.
Yes.
Not David Gale.
I accidentally said David Gale. I think that was a little, I don't know. It was
oh no, I wasn't hushing you. I was going to say Sheena Easton as the girlfriend, and Deborah Harry as the nurse. Yes. I don't know what to say. I mean, this is just a humorous segment.
Do you think it would hold much water nowadays? I remember back in the 90s that hair,
yes,
I'm losing my hair and that's the worst thing on the planet now.
Well, you still do see these commercials. Mm. They're still out there. I don't know if it's the hair club for men, but yes, they still have the transplants. They still have hair restoration. It's still a thing, but I think it was more a thing to parody or novelty at that time. It was the beginning of, it may have been the beginning of it. I'm not going to research when hair transplants and hair restoration started up. I don't research these films beforehand. I'm not going to go into detail about that. And then the funniest thing is when Stacy Keach grows out the long, luxurious hair, what was that style called?
The Stallion.
The Stallion, but I think
which was definitely a play off of all the old, even present day romance novels.
I think he looked more like Kubra Khan from Conan the Barbarian. So, also, I think David Warner's Dr. Locke character should have got a better cameraman for his infomercial, because let me have my cameraman flip it here. Okay, let me show you where he is in the frame. This is where he is in the frame when he's talking.
Your shoulders have to be up.
It's like chin's barely rest. Hold on, his chin's barely resting in the frame. This is where he is. You too can have a full head of hair, just like me. I bought the company.
More like
Okay.
closer.
Yeah, but it was like he had a midget cameraman or something. I don't know what it was.
Really bad.
But he had great hair.
He still has great hair.
No, but they did his hair up very well. Well for it.
He had the conservative Republican do, because
I
all
love
the
that-
dudes had different
I
names.
love that huge machine. The machine's about this tall. It's got a VCR on top. I'm pretty sure that was a VCR on top. It's got a computer screen. There's this tall just so that they can badly paste pictures of other hairstyles. I mean, these are apparently, I don't know how these alien worms got here. I assume they must have came here in an asteroid or something, because they did not come in this ship, because their level of technology has this huge thing. Even for 91, I'm sure that they could have used a smaller device to show Stacy Keach what his hair options were. Alright, so... Alright,
The last one.
the last one is...
What is it called?
I. How could... Even if you didn't...
I know, I'm
even
sorry.
if you didn't know the title,
I.
just the based on the concept alone, yes, it's I. Well, stars Mark Hamill,
Which is the reason we actually watched the movie.
which is the reason we watched the movie. And I would think of all the performances in any of the three, Mark Hamill's, I'm going to give him MVP. He's also with the least valuable player, Twiggy, who plays his wife. Our cameo is Roger Corman as one of the doctors. Didn't find out who played the other doctor.
No.
Why don't you tell the audience about I want to find out who played the actual eye doctor.
Basically, I plays on one of the kind of movie tropes that we saw back in the 90s, where if you have a transplant of anything and it happens to belong to a serial killer...
Well, it doesn't happen. It always... Anything you got transplanted would come from a serial killer.
Okay.
Well, I'm just saying. You always get something that's come off a serial killer.
And so Mark Hamill is having flashbacks that belong to the killer from
Visions.
this eye transplant, and he's going nuts and tries to kill his wife. There's more to it than that. But he starts just seeing things, and the big thing is Mark Hamill is on his way to be a very successful baseball player. His wife just found out she was pregnant, so they're kind of celebrating this, and here he's suffering from horrible headaches. He's seeing things. He's putting together the crib and starts screaming and is in a fetal position. It was good. I'm not good at doing this alone. I'm sorry.
I like the effect. Every time he has a vision, there's that sound effect, and there's that double white strobe flash.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Have you stopped?
I don't. All I can think of is I think we got to see Mark Hamill's butt, which I'm not upset about.
I mean, you know, I guess he's a healthy man. He was a healthy man at the time.
Yes,
I like the effect when, okay, if you learn anything from the eye we need to edit down the eye inside the first, down to like a 30-second commercial, because it's a great public service ad for distracted driving.
Oh, I forgot.
Yes,
Why?
yes,
He's
yes.
driving home. It's raining, and of course he's digging through his cassettes, looking through. I thought it was a B-52 cassette. You thought reggae.
I think it was Bob Marley and the Wailers.
That doesn't matter. And
Takes off his seatbelt, and it's already raining out.
And there's a deer, of course.
Which he
Because all
swerves
actions
to
are
avoid.
caused by deer.
Which he swerved to avoid.
And he goes
Hit
into a
the deer.
tree, and somehow he gets a clump of glass that's just perfectly like this, into one eye, far enough to destroy the eye, but not far enough to kill him. So he goes, and of course that's his seeing the ball eye, and they have this experimental surgery to replace his eye, and of course it's the eye of a serial killer, you know, because
it always is.
it always has to be. And there you go.
Well, what about the whole biblical?
Oh, they kept quoting this Bible, and the thing is, like, Mark Hamill, when he first has this vision, and he actually thinks he has dug up a corpse, the first thing he does is go to his Bible. Not the phone that is right next to the damn Bible to call a doctor or 911 or anything else. No. He goes to the damn Bible.
Well,
not the phone. It's right there. Literally, here's the Bible. Here's the phone. And he starts... I don't know. Like, call your doctor and then take your Bible with you.
Well, at the end, it's the Bible that, saves Twiggy. And I'm not exactly sure what she was telling him. She was telling him something about the Bible.
It was a Bible that was he gave to her, or she gave to him as a gift, and it says, to whatever character's name is, from whatever character's name is, shall we live together always in the eyes of God.
Oh, okay.
But, I'm sorry, that just irked me.
Okay, so God gets Brent Matthews, as played by Mark Hamill, to stab himself in the eye so he doesn't kill his wife.
He doesn't kill his wife, because his wife's like, no,
Oh,
this
wait.
is the person you are, even though...
Wait, I'll be back.
Do I have to
No. See, I'm wondering, I gotta find something to demonstrate something. You keep talking.
Okay.
Because I have a question about whether he could have done something. Oh, I know what I can use. Keep going on. I'm off screen. You need to talk.
Okay, I'm talking.
There's the Bible verse that it lands on about
It's the eye.
the offending eye that shall remove it or something.
All right, I'm back.
The offending...
So I'm curious about something, and I'm going to here, we gotta move the couch a little bit.
I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Well, this happens to Twiggy. See, he's decided he's going to kill his wife because the serial killer part of him, which he learns who the serial killer is, and he seems to be embracing it or fighting against it. So he's dug the grave for his wife.
Yes.
He tells her, I'm busy digging your grave. She runs from him. They run into the house. He tackles her to the ground. And this is how he secures her.
Oh.
He grabs her hair.
Okay, which my hair is about the same length as Twiggy's here.
And then somehow wraps
But
it, prevents her from escaping by tying it around and I don't know if you can do this in real life. See, it just falls apart.
Right.
You can't just take some woman's hair and wrap it around
Unless you're Mark Hamill.
the leg of a table.
You can do that if you're Mark Hamill, because it's Mark Hamill.
So that wouldn't.
Mark Hamill put...
I had trouble with that because I didn't think that was going to work, and it's been busted.
We just myth-busted...
We just myth-busted
hair.
eye as part of Body Bags by John Carpenter.
So I'm glad we could teach you something here.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that I freeze when I'm alone.
Freeze with you.
Handwritten. You're good.
It
Yeah.
escalates a little too quickly for me. Like, he's
What?
digging... I don't know, it just did. It's like, I just felt it was like, it's like, what are you digging? And it was kind of... It didn't really look like
My
a
wife's
grave.
over there giving me hand signals. I'm thinking I should bunt or should throw a fastball or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
She
And-
talked earlier. She could
all of
just
a
tell
sudden
me.
he's like, I'm digging your grave, and Mark Hamill goes all crazy Mark Hamill on Twiggy.
But
Like a switch.
Oh, okay, yeah, it was very.
Okay. I don't know. I think
But what were they?
I thought his was a great performance. His.
Oh no, I'm not ragging on Mark.
He
Hamill's
was fighting
performance at
him. The two aspects were fighting in him
all. Right.
to see which would win, and because of the Bible, or God, or his love for his wife Twiggy, he
It completely.
James the Shears, which had been the weapon of choice by the murderer into his eye,
Yeah.
killing himself.
There's a theme that the serial killer went after blondes,
Yes.
So I thought that he was going to come home and he was going to have all this, like, hair dye. You have to be a brunette now. And then I actually thought he might try to cut off her hair with the scissors. But I was wrong.
Okay. Creepiest part was when he was climbing Twiggy.
Yeah, like he, okay, let's get this out of the way now.
We are not going to enact
Twiggy,
that one.
Twiggy should, great model. I liked the pictures of her when she modeled. She was on America's Next Top Model. I thought she was very nice. Don't act. Don't. She was really bad. Like, Mark Hamill is like, he's been begging for sex through the whole movie. And she finally gives in.
But it's not good sex.
She's
it's
like
just
this.
It's not the good sex. It's the I'm just going to give him it so he stops bugging me kind of sex.
But she just, I don't know. Maybe she.
And she's still wearing something, and he's buck-ass naked, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why you know she's not into it.
She just... And he bites her, and she's like, you bit me. Ooh.
It did make her bleed.
Yeah. Some girls are
That's
into
my
that.
wife.
Not girls that wear that type of nightgown to bed. He should have known better.
Yeah, they don't want to be bitten hard enough to bleed. She tried not to leave like a hickey either.
Yeah. No, but...
Unless they got long hair. Or concealer.
The sex scene was so bad. It was like so much...
It wasn't a
just
sex scene!
Okay, the whatever scene it was just distracting. Like, because of her. She's just sitting there like...
Well... Okay. Most women, other than you, would have the same reaction if Mark Hamill was crawling up on them, okay? It's like the Jeffrey Combs things. Other women do not see it. The
And
mustache
by the way,
alone.
this is- okay.
The mustache alone.
I am not the only person who is attracted to Jeffrey Combs. I went on Tumblr and I found people who also are, and they confirmed it when I took a screenshot
They
of that,
confirmed it.
including a guy.
It's been proven by comments on the internet.
Can't imagine what you're going to put on this.
Alright. Okay.
I will do the same thing with Mark Hamill. I will
Okay.
do the same thing.
Alright. That's our research center powering down.
Yeah.
Alright.
I love how we don't stay on topic at all.
No. What?
It's fun.
It was relevant. Relevant to the discussion.
But don't you, like, now you got to see Mark Hamill's. Wait, you've seen this before, so you've already seen Mark Hamill's butt.
You know, I don't remember. I know I had seen this before. But no, I didn't recall the Mark Hamill ass seg part of it, you know?
I'm not...
It's not part of it that stayed with me.
Do you think it was a stunt butt, or do you think it was really his butt?
I'm sure that was the actual Mark Hamill.
I'll look it up online.
Okay. Alright.
I saw Anthony Hopkins' butt in a movie once.
Okay.
Is this a good time to cut?
It's getting...
I guess I don't know what else to talk about.
Who?
It's Titus.
Whose other butts would you like to talk about?
I don't know. I just felt I needed to share that I had seen
Okay.
Anthony Hopkins' butt.
Alright. Well, I think we've gotten to the end.
If this is what we're talking about.
Yes, yes. So, would you recommend John Carpenter Presents Body Bags?
I would recommend it more so for John Carpenter.
Yes.
He's
very entertaining.
awesome.
Very
He
entertaining.
really is great. He needs to do... I would love to see him do more stuff like this. And plus for all the cameos, it's definitely a lot worth nostalgia. I don't know which one my favorite is. I gotta say the Eye was my favorite story.
I'm
And not just because of Mark Hamill's behind.
I think for me, the gas station was the most entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gas Station was really entertaining. Again, Mark Hamill, as far as acting, he really just blew it out of the park.
Before we, because we've been talking about the cameos, I mean, there's two the thing I was good tying your hair
I'm
to.
sorry.
There's 2 cameos at the very end.
Oh, yes, Tom Arnold and Toby Hooper.
Yeah.
Which,
He's the director of one of the segments.
Toby Hooper, great directing, acting, not the best. Oh yeah, Toby Hooper.
Yeah, I think.
And I didn't know we were watching this, so there you go. We aren't reviewing with
What?
Would You Rather
We will.
because
We just didn't get a chance
Technical
to
difficulties.
get a chance to do that this evening. All right. So yeah, in general, we if you're feeling nostalgic for the early '90s and you want to see a bunch of cameos by a bunch of horror actors and directors,
definitely
you
watch.
could enjoy Body Bags. I do not know what we will watch next week, but maybe we'll go back into the VHS collection
Maybe.
once more.
Maybe we should watch
And
We did get that.
and they did want me to say yes, we are selling these tapes at our Amazon store, and we've got like 160 different titles. So, and all the profits from the sales will help us fund our own Fiendish films. So, feel free to buy it. All right. Good night.
Night.